I realized that to have the level of success that I want to have, it's difficult to spread it out and do multiple things. It takes such a desperate, obsessive focus. You really got to focus with all of your fiber and all of your heart and all of your creativity.
On the beat.
I'm motivated by fear. You know?
Fear of what?
That fear of fear. I hate being scared to do something. And I think what developed in my early days was the attitude that I started attacking things that I was scared of.
It was Franklin Roosevelt said, the only fear you have is fear of yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can't be scared to die for the truth. The truth is the only thing that's ever going to be constant.
On the beat.
My name's Jenna Gosling, I'm 19 years old. I'm currently a Taekwondo instructor. I train at Grand Union just in Northolt at Panther Taekwondo Black Belt Academy. Currently I'm a third Dan black belt. Taekwondo benefits my life in multiple different ways. Basically, I think in life it's made me feel like I've got better morals, and it makes me feel like I'm more mature as a person, especially for my age. And also when I'm at work as well, I'm seen differently from other people. And when it comes to discipline and etiquette and the way I talk to people, the way I use interviews, just in everything really.
Enough! Go! Set!
Ready?
Net! Enough!
I've been teaching for about 6 years. I teach from 4 years old upwards, so any ages from that. We do certain different tournaments. We do inter-club tournaments, so that's tournaments with just our clubs in Panther Taekwondo. And also we do international tournaments, so we go abroad quite a lot. I think it's very important, especially as a lady, especially for my age as well, because I'm quite young. So when I go out as well, I feel like I'm safe. And also it makes me feel more confident. Well, when you join our club, Panther Taekwondo Black Belt Academy, you have to sign a membership basically stating that there's certain rules that are tolerated and there's certain rules that are not tolerated. So when you join, you have to make sure that your etiquette is up to scratch, your discipline, your respect with instructors, other students. So if you break these rules, it's definitely not tolerated and you'd have to leave the club, and basically your membership would be done from there. My instructor is called Master Ewan. He's a 7th Dan Taekwondo instructor. He's one of the highest in Britain. He's currently 9 times British world champion, and also he has other clubs around the UK and internationally also. He's chairman of INDOMITABLE Samurai, and also he's chairman of TKD English Taekwondo and other Taekwondo clubs as well. He's also been trained in different multiple martial arts around the world and with different people around the world, so he's pretty well known. As him being the highest in Britain, for me it feels like the respect is just beyond words. So for him to train me and me to train other people, it feels like you cannot get better than that really. Unfortunately I haven't been able to take part in any tournaments because when I was 13, when I was red belt, I was taking part in a grading, and unfortunately I fell over and I hit my hip bone, and from then on I got an injury in my hip and my femur, which then led on to an infection, and it started to spread towards my vital organs, and it got to the point where they said she's not going to survive and she only has 12 hours to live, and they didn't know what to do, and they've never come across this infection before. Only 4 people in the country have ever had it, but luckily I'm the only girl to survive from it. And once I got better, I left hospital and I thought I'm going to go back to Taekwondo, get my black belt, because that's the only thing that kept me going when I was in hospital. I felt like I had to do it. So I went back to Taekwondo, did my black belt grading. Luckily I passed, throughout all of the hard work, all of the pain, the stress, the tears, the blood, the sweat. Got through it, passed, and then I went on to my second Dan, and that took about a year to train, a year to instruct, a year to coach. So it was a lot of hard work to put in with this injury as well. But I had to teach as much as I could to get that second Dan. Finally got to my second Dan grading, and luckily I passed that as well. And then from then it went even harder. I had to do a lot more coaching, a lot more teaching. I then learnt how to teach adults as well, which was quite a struggle because it's hard for someone my age to teach someone a lot older than me. When you get to third Dan, okay, in your grading, you have to take part in self-defense. So that's basically from grab to the wrist, shoulder, the neck, from behind, okay? And these moves have to be taken part realistically. So my instructor makes me do it with 6th grade men all at the same time, because that's what it would be like on the street, okay? Because it wouldn't make sense me doing it with someone my own size, because naturally it's not always someone your own size. Usually it's someone that's a lot stronger than you. So basically I take part in self-defense, knife defense, sometimes gun defense, which can be quite scary sometimes. So after that I have to take part in my patterns, so that's from 1 to 12, from Iljang to Taebak, so from white belt to third Dan. So that's a lot of moves, a lot of techniques, a lot of demonstrating, and all of these techniques have to be taken very realistic and very strong. And also I have to demonstrate for white belt to green belt in Korean and in English. So it's pretty hard, to be honest. Once you've done a grading, there's a lot of blood, sweat and tears. It's really hardcore. Once we've done a grading, we go straight into tournament work, and that's the hardest part of the year. Basically, I'm a coach for Pumasei. Pumasei means patterns. So I teach children and adults how to do their patterns, and we do inter-club tournaments and international tournaments. But what keeps me going is when the children and the adults come back with those gold medals, and most of the time we come back with the team trophy as well, so it's a great achievement and it makes me feel proud. My most memorable moment was when I came out of hospital and the doctors told me, like before this, Jenna, you'll never be able to walk again. And the reason they said this is because from recent x-rays and stuff, they said that my hip was the age of a 70-year-old, and they said basically your hip will just disintegrate and you will never be able to walk again, and you'll probably be in a wheelchair for the rest of your life. But while I was in hospital, them saying that to me just determined me more and more to go back to Taekwondo, get my black belt, pass all my next black belts and be an instructor, and it just made me feel like I had to do it. So what I did, I didn't tell my instructor, I didn't tell my students that I was coming back. I came back in a wheelchair, came through to the dojang, and I had my crutches with me as well. I hobbled to the front, and as I got to the front, I just bowed, and then they all bowed to me, and then they just had an almighty cheer, and it just made me feel like I was back with my family. It just felt like we was all a big family again, and like the whole team was here, and it just made me feel really emotional. It felt like the most proudest moment of my life. I don't get a lot of spare time, to be honest, because most of the time I'm working from Monday literally to sometimes Saturday, because most of the time my instructor will call me up and say, Jen, you've got to come to a tournament, or Jen, you've got to come to a seminar, or Jen, I need help with this. So a lot of the time I am working, but in my free time I like to go out with my friends, just relax, enjoy myself. And I also like to go to the hills, the Northolt hills, and practice my patterns, pick up on some of my moves, because I don't always get a lot of time to take time in my Taekwondo. A lot of the time I'm teaching, but I'm still learning, but I don't always get time to practice. So in my free time I like to practice and just meditate and pick up on my own sense of Taekwondo. It's really knackering, it's really tiring, but I feel like it's all worthwhile, because whilst I'm there, I'm seeing them picking up from what I'm teaching them, and each lesson they're learning something new. Each lesson they're maturing, and it feels like for me as a person, I'm growing as well as them. So it definitely is a big achievement for me. My Taekwondo club is called Panther Taekwondo Black Belt Academy. You can find us on Facebook, You can find us on our website www.panthertaekwondo.co.uk. You can follow us on Twitter. My class is in Northolt, Grand Union Estate, and we also have a Taekwondo in Catford. We have a Taekwondo class in Southampton and in Strettenham. That's around this area in the UK, but we do have some internationally as well. And big shout out to UK Talent. Okay, this big show, you need to catch up, make sure you see all of the videos. This is Panther Taekwondo Black Belt Academy. Thank you.